Chum 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 of the month.
Hello, welcome to this month's Chum of the Month. I'm delighted and excited to welcome Oliver Knussen.
Oh, how sweet.
Are you're happy with Ollie, aren't you? You don't like being called Oliver.
I hate it.
Oh.
No, I hate being called Oliver, that is.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that with Hilary, actually.
Really?
When people say Hilary, I think, oh, what have I done wrong? Yeah.
I never thought of it that way.
Well, I don't know, it's just sort of a formal
There were
thing,
there's only two people who called me Oliver, and one of them was my mum.
Right.
And the other one is a friend of mine who refuses to call me anything else, and I want to strangle him every time he says it.
Do you have other abbreviations, like
No.
all?
No.
Oh, that's good.
No.
People try and call me Hills, which I hate. Hills is not good. Hilly, I'm happy with.
Okay.
Yeah. So I remember ages ago when we were in Oldborough, you were saying that from a really early age you were taken in to see lots of orchestral things.
Yes,
you were right there in the
yeah.
minute of things.
Yeah.
And just seeing how everything worked, and with Britain as well.
Yeah. Lots of time with lots of rehearsals with Britain.
So did you always know that music was going to be your thing? Was that always what your passion was as a kid?
It never occurred to me that there was anything else to do.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I was completely brainwashed.
Were you not? I'm sure you were a big reader and things as well.
Yes, but I was completely brainwashed. So, in a sense, I don't resent it, but actually, in terms of choosing one's career, as it were, that's something that I never did.
But because it was kind of obvious that that's what you would do, I would imagine.
My dad always wanted me to be a conductor. So my dad was a bass player, but I think he probably deep down wanted to be a conductor somewhere.
Right.
And then at some point, I realised that I wanted to. I started writing, and that was not in the plans. That sort of intimidated them a bit, and that was actually my saving, because it was my own little world.
Did you learn an instrument? Did you play an orchestral instrument yourself?
I played the cello for a bit.
Ooh.
But that was a sort of family thing. I mean, the whole family's a mafia of string players. My father's side of the family. So it was, it was in the stars that I was going to play the cello. So of course I rebelled.
Yeah, of course.
And then I was, and then I learned that, and I had piano lessons. But I'm not a fingers person. I'm a hands person.
In terms of conducting, did you study conducting, or have you developed your own? Because you're very clear. I mean, you obviously learned the technique from someone.
My dad used to do this thing of standing like this, standing with his hands like this, and making me beat inside between the hands. And if I went outside, he'd go like that.
Oh gosh!
Yeah, which was apparently an old Viennese trick.
Oh, that's very interesting. So you didn't get any of this?
No.
Thank God for that.
But then the trouble is that can make you very stiff.
Right.
You're doing like
you're
that.
Very,
And what I've developed over the years is a way of
a liquid curve.
Hopefully a way of showing various things, but without going outside the box.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think I was always. I'm not a very physically. I'm not a demonstrative person. I'm quite shy, so it was always very difficult for me to go out and on stage
and do it
and wave
the
arms around.
So you knew that you had to be.
And it's taken a long time to loosen up and feel that I can have some fun with it, really.
Ah, I remember the first thing we ever did together was the Elliot Castle
Opera, yes.
And we had a ball doing that. It was a lovely cast, and we had a lovely time doing it. And I remember at the end of it coming up and saying, "Thank you so much. I had a lovely time." And I said, because, honestly, I'd heard that sometimes you could be a bit fierce, because I had. And you said to me, looking me straight in the eye, "Funny, I've heard the same thing about you."
Yes, that's right.
And that is hilarious. We've got these terrible reputations for being monsters.
Difficult.
Yeah. But I think that's quite true about me, because I can be, I mean, if you call it difficult, but I don't suffer fools gladly. And I suspect you're the same.
One doesn't try not to suffer fools gladly.
One doesn't try and be obnoxious and horrible and rude to people, but when they're hopeless and irritating, then I don't see there's any
I have this terrible tendency is that if I think someone's an idiot, they know that they can tell that I think they're an idiot, and I don't know what I do. But it's I try and be nice to people, you know.
Well, I try and mask it for as long as possible, but there does come a point when the contempt does win out.
Yes, yes.
I remember doing something with Boulez, and he asked one of the soloists to do something. He asked her twice, and it didn't happen. And from that minute, he ignored her totally
That's
for the
right.
entire the rest of the period. And I thought, well, fair enough. You get your 2 chances.
Yes.
At least acknowledge that you've been asked to do something differently.
I mean, I think the thing is that you got actually most of the time, one's very lucky and one works with people.
Oh my God, yeah. And I think that's largely to do with the repertoire I do.
Yeah.
Because Baroque and contemporary, you know,
you don't do
brains.
it. You don't do it unless you're sort of wired to do that.
Yeah.
But if you get I mean, if you're a reasonably experienced conductor, one knows to do this anyway.
Yeah.
Is that if somebody screws up, leave them alone.
Yes, just keep going.
Keep going. And if they screw up again, make a note of it. And if they screw up a 3rd time, fix it.
Yeah.
I think if you've got enough time to do that.
Yeah.
If after you've fixed it they screw up again, it will be tired them.
Well, sometimes it's issues with scores, isn't
I
it?
know.
And sometimes people just have mental blocks. And particularly with singers, if you learn something wrong, it's really hard to say, oh no, okay, that's an E natural, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So yes, well anyway, here we are today, about to do the Birtwistle Prom.
Yes.
And I've leapt in at short notice to do Meridian, which is a beautiful piece.
Thank God.
Well, see what you say afterwards.
Well, actually it is a beautiful piece, isn't it?
It is a beautiful, I think it's a really beautiful piece.
And he actually, I think, sets words very well.
I agree. I think it's beautiful. Yeah, and I love the choral effects with the backing singers.
And the choice of poetry is wonderful, and it's a very unlike what you the fearsome reputation of Harrison Birtwistle.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very mellifluous.
It really is. Yeah, it's very lyrical. There are some very beautiful melodies. Which, as you say, you kind of associate Harrison Birtwistle with big bombastic but actually this is a bit contrasting to that, which is very nice.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready to do that.
Yes.
And but
I'm masking the nerves rather well. Don't you look?
He's absolutely brilliant.
It's only that much of a shake.
Are you still writing? You're still.
Yes, when my brain works.
So come on, you promised me.
I know I did.
Yes, come on.
I know, I haven't forgotten.
And why don't people ever write humorous things these days? Everyone always writes deathly serious, miserable, serious. Oh.
Are you talking about?
I'm talking about things with
vocal
wit.
things?
Yes, I'm talking about songs
well, you
with
have
wit
to find,
and
then in
humour.
that case, you have to find a text that's got genuine wit and humour.
It's true.
And there ain't
the
much.
root is in the text.
The root is in the text. I mean, and when you say that, what comes to my mind immediately is something like it's just simply Edward Lear. Been there, done that.
Yes.
There is some nice witty stuff in Auden, if you can find it.
But it's funny, lyrics and texts are very difficult.
I was listening to one thing that I do especially when I'm doing what you might call headbanging kind of music, so like Carter in large quantities, or like Harry Birtwistle, is that I go home and listen to Satie.
Oh.
And I listen to Satie.
Elegance to lighten
well,
your
it's what do you call it? It's angst free and very calm and very beautiful. But the other day I heard some Satie songs. I think mezzo songs.
I think
they're beautiful.
Yeah, they really are.
They're really beautiful and witty, and
in that very sort of special sort of French way, isn't it? It's that very sort of subtle.
But not camp. Poulenc I always think is camp.
Right.
It's very good. It's very high camp. It's very good. It's good quality.
Man with a bit of camp.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Well, I look forward to you writing me a rumpus.
Yes, I'll have a go. Yes.
And in the meantime, thank you very much for being Chum of the Month.
Great pleasure. It's nice being Hilary's chum.
Aww.